Hello and welcome back to the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here or you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And, turn on that bell, get that notification going, and hit that thumbs up for me. Much, much appreciated. All right, well, this video we're going to dive into the impact that Derrick Rose has had on every single player on the roster. It's actually something really shocking, the positive afterglow that he's had on everybody. And sometimes you can say, wait a second, is it just a coincidence? Is it actual causation? In some particular cases it might just be because, Reggie Bullock has gone off. Could he have caught fire even if Rose had never come to this team? It's absolutely positive. It's definitely a possibility. Julius Randle had already turned into the master of the universe type version that he is now. He had already started that before Rose had joined this team. However, the efficiency, we're going to look at the efficiency, the net rating that everyone has, basically everyone's improved their net rating dramatically since Derrick Rose has joined this team. And the key thing is, let's go to some highlights here. The thing about it is that even when he's not on the court, he's impacting the players because everyone else is finding their role. And we're seeing a little bit less of Elfrid Payton on the court, which is, ultimately, efficiency-wise, it's a positive thing. And I'll tell you, the reason that I got into this situation is because I was developing a video, which I'm going to drop tomorrow, actually. It's a video about what to do with our center situation, because now that Mitch has gotten hurt and Nerlens has played so well, I was doing a deep analysis on what should we do about these two guys. And what became really evident was the impact that Derrick Rose has had on Nerlens himself. And then I saw that Mitch never got to play with Derrick Rose. So even when you compared their side-by-side statistics, which Mitch still is better statistically, but the team itself has performed better since Nerlens has taken over the starting position. So it was like, whoa, what's the factor? The key factor is the Rose effect. Now let's look at these stats here. This is really going to be interesting for you guys. Now, JD, he did an incredible video about Derrick Rose's impact so far, and this is kind of like a deeper look at that. Now you can see why. Here we go. All right, so this grid basically answers the question that yes, everyone is better when Derrick Rose is on the court. They are, dramatically. Here's a close-up view. All right, so let's just look at Julius Randle. Julius Randle is I think there's only one or two players whose field goal percentage and true shooting percentage did not go up since Derrick Rose joined the team. However, look at the offensive rating was 107.9. The defensive rating was 107.4 pre-Derrick Rose for a net rating of 0.5, which, okay, that's something. But look at afterwards. Offensive rating 112.2, defensive rating 107 for a net rating of 5.2. That's even though his field goal percentage dropped a little bit, a half a percentage point, and the true shooting percentage dropped. Actually, that actually went down, but there was a reason. Julius started shooting a lot more threes, and he started hitting them. So, and he was taking more shots, and he was facing tighter defenses, and we're facing much more. The quality of opponents was much more intense. But let's go down the line. Look at RJ Barrett. A net rating, 1.2, 2.8 since Rose. Bullock. Now, Bullock could be the one that I said before. That could just be, not a causation situation. But, look, he's still performing at an incredibly high level. His offensive rating went from 104.9 to 112.2. But a lot of it could be because he just started hitting his three-pointers at such a high rate I mean, he's been fantastic. He's another key reason why we're doing so well, especially during that win streak. So 50.9%, so about 51% was his field goal percentage. Now it's at 63.2. It's gone up 12% or so. That's phenomenal. But let's look at the guys who played in that second unit along with Rose, because now Rose is sharing the court a lot with Randall, Barrett, and Nerlens, and Quickly. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. But let's look at Burks, because in the beginning when Rose came, Burks, Quickly, Toppin, and Nerlens were in that second unit. All of their numbers have exploded. Burks went from a 4.0 net rating to a 6.8. And Noel went from a minus 2.5 to a plus 4.1. That's a 6.6 swing. Incredible. Quickly, talk about incredible. Quickly was a 0.7. He went to a 9.8. 9.1 increase. Look at Obi Toppin. A minus 4.1 before Derrick Rose joined this team. Now he's a plus 5.9. That's a net gain of 10 points. So you guys can't tell me, nobody can tell me that Derrick Rose is not actually the most impactful player of the New York Knicks. Yes, Randall is our most valuable player. He's our most improved player, but the most impactful player on the New York Knicks is Derrick Rose. That is right. Look at Elfrid Payton's numbers. He went from a minus 2.2 to a minus 0.4. So that's a nice little gain of 1.8. Okay. Look at that. Even he. Now, the one player who did not increase was Mitch Robinson. Before Rose arrived, Mitch Robinson had a negative 0.4, and he still had that after Rose arrived, but he only was around for like 5 or 6 games since Rose arrived, and they never played one single possession together. So he never got that glow. He never got the Rose effect. It didn't impact him. He was left out. Now let's look at the team stats overall so you can see the really tremendous change here. So before Rose arrived, the team was 11-14 and an offensive rating of 107, a defensive rating of 108.1 for a net rating of minus 1.1. Now remember, the Knicks were like a really good defensive team, but even still, we were suffering on offense. Our field goal percentage was 50.6%, true shooting 54.2%, but since Rose arrived, that true shooting percentage jumped up to 56.9%, almost 57%. Look at the field goal percentage. Look at that. It climbed 2.8 points to 53.4, and the offensive rating to 112.6. The defensive rating actually went down 107.9. So the team became better defensively after Rose arrived for a net gain of 5.8. How phenomenal is that? And you see the results. Look at the record. 24-14 since he arrived. That is a story, people. That is a story. Look at this even closer here now. Look at this. Our win percentage climbed almost 200 points. The actual points scored per game rose 7.2 points. Derrick Rose, 7.2 points. Look at that. From 102.7, which sounds like a radio station, to 109.9, which that's not a radio station. Look at the field goal percentage. 54.9%. Even with Julius Randle, who takes the majority of our shots, his field goal percentage going down, the impact on everybody else, 46.1% for a net gain of 1.2%. And the 3-point field goal percentage. That's been the story. 35.5% to 40.5% for a net gain of 5%. Guys, look at the plus minus. The plus minus went plus 6.1. Derrick Rose is the most impactful player on this team. We're so lucky to have him here. I was a little bit worried when he joined the team, for the reasons that I pointed out. It wasn't such a great experience the first time with him here, and I was worried about him taking minutes away from Quickley, which in the end that kind of has happened. It slowed Quickley's progression to taking over the starting point guard position, which I eventually think he will. But all that being said, the net result is wins. The net result is the Knicks are in the 4th seed, and I think the Knicks are going to hold on to it. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining in. And again, please subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and hit that thumbs up for me. And I'll see you around the Knicks-Verse.